Hey guys, Chris here for Thomann Guitars and Basses. In today's guitar tech tips, I want to figure out if shielding changes the guitar's tone or not. In this series, I want to show you how to fix your guitars and basses and how to set them up without using too many special tools. Shielding guitars and basses is a reasonable thing in theory. In the real world, it's not that simple, mainly because the most sensitive part of the electronics, the pickups, are outside of the shielding. Let's see what makes sense, what doesn't, and if the guitar's tone changes if you shield it. In case you enjoy guitar tech tips, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. There's a lot of confusion about shielding, so let's talk about it for a sec before we get into the tone comparison. Ideal shielding would be a Faraday cage. You hear this term a lot, and this would be a complete and closed shielding around the whole electronics. This would attenuate all the unwanted frequencies like the 60 cycle hum or here in Europe, the 50 cycle hum. That is, unfortunately, impossible to do on guitars. First of all, the shielding would have to be like at least 10 millimeters thick, and the pickups should also be inside that cage. But then they cannot interact with the strings anymore and you have no sound. All you can do with usable shieldings on guitars is reduce the noise. You cannot really get rid of it. Don't bother with shielding the electronic cavity or the jack cavity. Those parts don't act like antennas. Pickups do. Pots, capacitors, switches, jacks are not really sensitive to this 50 or 60 Hz hum and noise in general. What you can do is shield the bottom side of the pickguard and the pickup cavities and then connect that to ground. Otherwise, it's pointless. If your guitar doesn't have a pickguard, you can still shield the pickup cavities, which will shield it from the back, which makes a lot of sense, of course, since frequencies come from all directions and go through the bodywood too. This is my 53 reissue Telecaster, and these come with vintage specs, so no shielding at all. I put copper tape on the bottom of the pickguard first. Then in both pickup cavities for the first comparison round. The ground connection between the pickguard and the electronic cavity is this tape stripe here. The bridge pickup cavity shielding touches the bottom side of the bridge, which is already grounded, so that's gonna be fine too. For the third comparison round, I'll shield the electronic cavity too. This way I can show you no shielding at all, pickup shielding, and full guitar shielding. I'm looking forward to hearing the difference in the noise floor too. Of course, every room and rig is different, so this is just gonna be an example of the noise in this studio. By the way, the rig I'm using is the Rev D20 head going into a Palmer 1x12 cab with a Celestion Creamback 75 speaker. And now it's time for a test ride. Let me know in the comments below if you heard any difference in tone and or noise. I'd also love to know what you want to see in this series. Don't be afraid of setting up and fixing your guitars yourself. It's time to become your own guitar tech. In today's guitar tips, I want to figure out if shielding